the giggle dragon needs to be defeated by the giggle hero. The anti-giggle
What
hero.
the fuck? Okay. Welcome to episode 9 of Pretty Boy Detective Club. Ignore everything that just happened. We definitely weren't talking about giggle monsters or anything like that. Last episode was very, very interesting. We got a bunch of information, tons of art theory thrown at us, and like, damn, how are we supposed to analyze all of this? But guess what? My assistant to my... Wait, one second. I think that's my virtual right. Yeah, my virtual right over here has done a ton of research, and I'm sure she'll be able to, well, inform our small brains as to what exactly happened last episode.
Enlighten us, Kiwi.
Show us the genius of Nisio Isin and Shinbo. Show us, Kiwi.
The nervous giggle intensifies.
The spotlight is on you. Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
We will all judge everything that you say from here on in. So
Your
no
grade is
pressure.
dependent on how well you perform.
Yes,
Oh,
our entire channel is on this theory of your Kiwi.
Yeah,
If it's bad, if it's bad, everybody's gonna unsubscribe, and then YouTube's gonna say that, oh, you committed community guideline strike and delete our channel because we uploaded a video that was so bad that it couldn't be on YouTube.
Worse than Julius Love Hearts.
Okay, maybe not that bad, but anyways, Kiwi, I believe in you.
I have rewatched the last episode like 3 different times, just to ensure that I got it all right. So I don't really have a theory set in onto what was happening last episode, but I do have a lot of research that I have built kind of like a mini theory on what I think it is, and I also got an opinion from one of the side about the theory. So basically, at first, I was rewatching for the 3rd time, I noticed that Mayumi called her Yurika constantly, and also she called her Zashiki Watashi, so I was wondering if like they're somehow connected. They're not. But what I did find out that Yurika has a meaning in Japanese, and it means a beautiful lily. And throughout her whole design, she's designed like with color blue, which in Japanese, like color blue in Japanese culture means pure. And also her nickname is Yurika, which is basically a beautiful lily. And also one of the shots made her surrounded by white lilies, which in Japanese culture means purity. So basically, the author is like telling us that she's somehow pure with her design, but her words are not really. So I decided to go and research so I can translate the poem, which was, wait, let me check what the poem was. I am shaking.
Don't worry, Kiwi. All 5 of our Pretty Boy Detective Club returning subscribers are watching you.
That's 5 is a lot. Yeah, so basically, you know how we were wondering about the poem that was put in the episode, like Fiona standing like a tree, Fiona sitting, and like a lily walking. So I researched what each of the flowers would be. I thought that the tree peony was something like totally different, but it's not. It's a flower as well. So in Japanese culture, a peony is basically means wealth. No matter what color, it means wealth. And a tree peony means maturity, and lily means purity. So basically, what she's standing is like a wealthy person standing, like a mature person, like a mature being sitting, and like a pure being walking. And then the later part of the novel said, the poem says, and the other words were thorns, which basically means her words hurt. The whole episode was really color focused, especially the lolly. I call her lolly in my notes as well. The lolly was really color focused throughout the whole episode. Like all of the characters do have a bunch of colors that mean something in the Japanese culture. Like our leader, the leader-kun, he's all blue. Like I said, the blue means purity in Japanese culture. So basically the author is telling us, oh yeah, he's a pure type. While your best boy Xero, he's kind of reddish, which would be kind of like passion, and he's passionate about cooking. if that makes sense.
Yes, Yukihiro Soma.
Yeah, her colors tell that she's pure, and throughout the whole episode, the color shifts in the backgrounds constantly change. Like when she's introduced, she's put in red because Mayumi was feeling in danger. But when they say that she was kind of rejected from being in the club, the background is gray. I was wondering, like, why is it gray when it could be blue, which also means sadness by the tone shifts. And it's gray simply because she felt lonely and rejected. Like, the gray represents loneliness. So, yeah, the whole Hagoita. So, the interesting part comes here. So, like I said, her whole design tells you that she is basically pure. She's a pure, innocent child. But Hagoita tells a completely different story. So, her Hagoita is really serious. I was really surprised at how serious it was. So, the whole Hagoita thing is everything that I found so far. The focus is on the Edo period of Japan. So everything on the Hagoita has some connection to the Edo period. Hagoita was made like a thing by the people in the past, in the Edo period, to make money during winter in Edo period, and that's how it became a thing. The higher the nobility was, the more details and everything it had on it. And one of the details that represent nobility is the golden branch on the Hagoita. Yeah, silver. I can send a picture in the recording text.
No, it's all right.
Her Hagoita is like really Edo period focused and everything. The golden branch is a really big give off of it. And also what I've noticed is that Hagoita, like a lot of the designs, has a lot of red in it. So at first I searched up the Western meaning of the color red. And of course, it is love, passion, and everything, but there's also danger. And then I searched up the Japanese meaning for it, and it's the same as the first half of the Western, so it's love, passion, and everything else. But instead of danger, it is the color that shrines use to ward off evil. So there is the Hagoita, which basically was made to play during a festival, so they could ward off evil spirits, and there's also color red on it, which basically screams evil spirits go away.
Yeah. And which was last time was what we theorized, that she saw Dojima Mayumi as like an evil spirit, and that's the reason why she put the Hagoita there, because she basically got into the club that she couldn't get into, and she saw her like the villain or somewhat.
So I tried to find the flower, and I found two flowers that could be on the Hagoita. The first one that I thought about was Fioni, because the whole thing was focused on the Fioni. That's simply why I went with it. And like I said, Fioni means wealth and honor. But the other flower that I found was the Tsubaki flower, the camellia flower. They were popular with nobles in the Edo period, and they symbolize a noble death. And they're usually amongst warriors and samurai.
Death?
And they also mean love, especially the red camellia. They mean love.
One design feature I noticed just looking at it again now. On the bottom of her kimono, it almost looks like a red string. Which, in Japanese culture is like connected to like fate.
Yeah, the whole, like I said, the whole Hagoita is really mature and love focused. Like the biggest one, I don't know the meaning of the butterfly. I couldn't find it because whenever I searched up the name of the butterfly, which is Taro Iwase butterfly, that's what the butterfly that I think it is, because it looks most like it. I didn't find the meaning for it because whenever I searched up Taro Iwase, a researcher that researched the butterfly would come up. There would be no meaning behind it. I thought about researching into Taro Iwase himself. Maybe she chose the butterfly for the person and not the meaning of the butterfly, but I couldn't really find anything that would make sense or like a great color to use in her Hagoita. So I think it was mostly like a choice thing, but it doesn't really have to be it. It could have some meaning behind it. I'm not Japanese. I can't read Japanese text. But the rainbow wings are the right side of the picture from where I'm looking at it. Are dragonfly wings, and dragonfly wings have a big meaning in Japanese culture as well, which surprised me. They mean persistence, because they always fly forward and never backwards. And then it comes back to samurai. Samurai put the dragonfly symbol on their samurai helmets to like go forward, which comes back to samurai. And then I also theorized that the person on the left side under the butterfly wings is also a samurai. And also, the color red also means peace and prosperity of the family. Let me see what else. Oh, then I was curious about the being in the middle. So what I thought at first was just a bunch of heads put into one, but it looks like a being that's wearing a kimono, a fish being. So the first thing that came to my mind was a ningyo. And there is a legend about that. So ningyo is basically a half human, half fish. But in old legends, they are described to having monkey's mouth and teeth like a fish, with golden scales and a quiet voice like a skylark or a flute. And it looks kind of like it. But the thing that most interested me about a ningyo is that there is a legend about a fisherman who caught one fish. Oh, I first gotta explain this. I'm sorry, I'm really jumbled right now. So, it is said that when fishermen caught ningyo, they would have to release them instantly because they were scared of getting cursed. And if a ningyo is washed up upon a shore, it means war, that a war will soon start, or a really big calamity will happen. And so there is a legend that basically says that a fisherman caught ningyo, they killed it, the fisherman, and they tried to feed it to the fellow fishermen as a fish, like as a fish meal. But one of the fishermen walked into the kitchen and saw that a fish had a human face and decided to tell everyone. But one of the fishermen kind of forgot about it because he got so drunk that he forgot that it was said not to eat it. And when he came home, his little daughter wanted a present, and he just threw the piece of fish that he brought home from the dinner with the other fishermen to her. The girl ate it and there was no big changes to her, but the problem was that she never aged after she got married. She became unable to age.
I've read this one.
Yeah. And she lived for 800 years before killing herself. So eternity is what I took from it.
There's always been a long play on eating mermaid flesh can give it immortality or eternal.
Okay.
And then Kian also did research on the being, a friend that asked for help because I didn't really know what it was. And Ian is suggesting that it's either Nukekubi or Rokurokubi, which are basically the same type of yokai which is able to stretch their neck and shape shift.
Isn't that the one that can separate its head?
No. It's the type that can stretch its head. One is able to transform into small animals, and the other is just able to stretch their neck. And I have also a bunch of other beings that I thought would be...
Nukekubi is the one that separates the head. Rokurokubi is the one that stretches the neck.
Ah, yeah. Then sorry, I was wrong. Nukekubi's head detaches itself completely from its body.
Yeah, I am a yokai nerd.
And they're able to transform into these small beings and animals, and that's where I come back to this little being on the cape. I have no idea what that animal is. I thought it was a fox, but the fox kind of doesn't fit in the whole thing. It kind of fits because it says that they're seen as mischievousness, and if someone is called a fox in Japanese culture, they're called mischievous, basically.
I don't think it's a fox.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fox either. It kind of looks like it has horns if you look closely at it. So I have no idea what it was. And the other being that I thought was the being in the middle is Oni, but because of the horn on top of its head. I firstly disregarded the idea of it being an Oni because they call Yurika, the loli, they call her an Akuma and not an Oni. And so I searched up the meaning between...
Akuma is just more of a generic demon.
I searched up for the meaning of an Akuma and an Oni, and Oni is described as an ogre, and they're typically hulking figures and horns growing from their heads, while Akuma is just a representation of Satan in Buddhistic.
Akuma are just more towards the Christian demon than not exactly, but more of that traditional demon archetype.
So yeah, that's basically all I could find, really. Oh yeah, the I also found something about the waves, because the whole design has a lot of wave type Oh, there is another thing that I wrote for the being in the middle, which is Honeona. Because of the flower at the time, simply they're like women who died before their like true love could happen. Like the women that died while in love with someone else, and they're usually really pale and skeleton-like, like the thing on the. They're usually white, like the thing in the middle.
There would be a skull motif.
And they usually have a phony flower with them as a lamp. So that's why I thought that it would be kind of a good idea to pick them up. Yeah, so waves represents good luck. Especially the Seiha waves, which are basically the waves right under. So like there's this like being, and then there's this like red kind of thingy. Right next to the flower there is a cape with waves, traditional Japanese. I thought it was scales, but it's not, they're waves. And then also the rest of the waves are on the design as well. I mean, it's not the best kind of research that I've done, but I tried my best. I'm sorry. So we can, I guess, start.
No, that's good. That's a good start.
Yeah. You're looking at a lot of the right things during that analysis. And I can tell, even though I didn't do the research, because a lot of the stuff that you mentioned is also sort of used in the Monogatari series as a whole. So, yeah. I mean, you can look forward to that. Yeah, but backgrounds are, I think even in this series, backgrounds are going to be important because from my experience with Monogatari, backgrounds tell a lot about what the character is thinking or feeling. And that's how they use backgrounds to express different things. Like sometimes you're going to be in completely random places that don't even have anything to do with what's currently going on, but it's just better used to better represent what's going through the head of that particular character.
Yeah, so because of the backgrounds, I was thinking about the theory that she's basically just a pure girl that's putting up an act as an Ankuma, so to say. Kin's theory, on the other hand, was that she's also putting up an act, but she's asking someone from the group to see through her Hagoita and like pick up the claw to kind of befriend her and become her friends, which I mean, it's a good theory, but I don't think it's a thing. I mostly think that she's just trying to get rid of Dojima Mayumi because she feels challenged by it. Her Hagoita is constantly telling everyone, I am in love, I want a good life, and I want prosperity. She's really mature for a great scholar. Like the whole Hagoita is so mature. Everything has a mature meaning to it. I mean, it could have a childish meaning, but I didn't find anything childish about it. There's nothing childish about her Hagoita. Everything is mature.
From the way that Mayumi described her, there's nothing childish about her. There's only elegance.
It's really well with what we've seen of her so far.
Yeah, but her design is telling you, I am innocent, I am pure. I don't believe that design would go against how the character looks. Even the Lolita characters that are super serious have some kind of indicator that they're in some way dangerous or mean in some way. The colors always point towards it. But her design by Japanese culture means that she's pure and in love because she has roses on her belt as well. That also means love in Japanese culture. Roses, red roses. So yeah, she isn't described as elegant, she's described as pure, which is what confused me, because her Hagoita is telling a totally different story.
Okay, well...
I mean...
Doesn't that just mean that she's putting up a front?
Like you said, she's trying to present herself as mature, but in the end she's still just an innocent kid, right?
Yeah, so that's why I understood instantly why the background was gray and not blue when she was rejected. She didn't feel sad about being rejected, she felt lonely about being rejected. Because if she was really as mean as they portray her to be, I felt like the background would be more of a reddish blue color. Because she would feel angry and sad that she was rejected. But the background was gray, which means lonely. So she's just a lonely child. Is how I took it. I mean,
well, yeah, that's how the show has been going so far. Like, particularly the last arc. That they just painted over the paintings, stuff like that. And in the end, it's usually just the most simplest answer, with the exception of the middle school gambling ring, but that was out of this world.
The space satellite.
I think it could be the simplest answer that she's a lonely child who wants to befriend her fiance's friends, but couldn't, and is sort of jealous about Mayumi being there. Or it could be completely something else. Who knows?
I was also thinking that she's kind of asking for help from people around her, because her Hagoita is really mature, like I said 5 times already. And she is designed as someone pure, so could it be that her parents are maybe forcing her to act more mature than she actually is?
Well, I mean, she is in an arranged marriage, so like, it's not out of the question.
So with the Hagoita, she's basically asking for help instead of... At first I was like, oh, she's just showing off how rich and smart she is. But the more I thought about it, like, maybe she's asking for help, even though I don't want it to go that way, but maybe she is. Alright,
I think that's actually a pretty good analysis. Thank you so much for doing all the research for us, Kiwi.
It was fun, I didn't mind it.
Now it's time to watch the episode and get proven wrong on everything.
Even if I get proven wrong, I will not accept that my research was for nothing.
Yes, it wasn't for nothing, I'm sure.
I need to have at least one confirmation about my theory. At least one.
To all of you who skipped to this timestamp, well, I'm looking at you. I know who you are.
You are mean.
I'm gonna start the episode. No, please don't unsubscribe. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyways, awkward intros aside, I'm gonna start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A horse poop.
Classic.
I didn't say anything.
Yes, straight into the opening.
You know what it means when it goes straight into the opening. There's gonna be a huge ass fight.
Oh.
It's gonna be the most epic animation.
It becomes a battle shonen.
Yes. I mean, Nisio Isin is known for writing all of the battle shonens, most popular ones, you know.
Yep. So it's an interesting part in the opening. I've noticed it before, but they're all like covering their mouth, like don't say anything.
Well, isn't the club supposed to be secret?
I guess that's true.
Well, that could also just be like what they want us to assume. That's what it means. But in the end, the context of the OP is going to change once we know more about the show. It's just my Monogatari experience talking here.
Tosaku looks so cute. Am I on mute so you guys can hear me, or are you just ignoring me?
I can hear you.
We can kind of hear you. It's just your audio is just pretty bad when your microphone isn't close to you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even find the meaning of her name. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the one that carried the Hagoita in as well.
Her voice, I didn't notice it before, but it's actually
I
really
was
cute.
right. I was right. I was right about one thing.
I love this track.
Oh.
Oh, what?
The new kid on the block.
She's definitely acting like a jealous grade schooler.
Well, yeah.
She's more harsh, but she's acting like a jealous grade schooler.
I mean, they didn't show her eyes during that particular scene, so probably means that, yeah, she's sad that she didn't get to join. Jealous that she did. Okay, what's going on here?
The training for the voice. For this voice practice.
Oh, yes. They had to make that scene that wasn't erotic. Slightly erotic.
Xero, let me tell you a secret. They're in middle school. You cannot talk about erotica when they're in middle school.
That doesn't apply to Nisio Isin.
It applies.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
When you watch Monogatari, you're gonna change your opinion. Ah, yes. Yes, really. What kind of girl is she?
There was even a meaning behind her having 3 roses on her back. I totally forgot about it.
That's part of her obi.
Obi-Wan?
No, there's actually a meaning behind having a different number of roses given to you or having on you.
The Demon's First Friend. A novel.
I think Sakaguchi might
yes.
be my favorite of them.
Classic.
I like him.
Oh, I saw this story already in Act Age. I know about this story about the trait. See, no one likes her. No, she has no one and no one likes her in the whole group. She's lonely.
What if she's just massive tsundere?
This plays into what you were saying, like with her talking about like nobility, and being like how she is like from a higher standing or whatever.
Fallen nobility? A reminder. Oh.
Where the maturity comes from, I see.
red and blue balloons.
Purple too.
It is something that she has to do in order for her family to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How romantic.
With their little red, like, elementary school backpack.
I love how he makes it a point because I'm not a lolicon.
I mean, there's probably tons
It's
of
like
people
he's
like you,
speaking to
Kiwi.
me. Yeah, it's like he's speaking towards me. I
Yeah.
am not a lolicon.
What is? Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, a woman cross-dressing, and she was able to join. Why couldn't Kodaki join? It stabbed him in the back. Oh. Oh no.
Okay, I mean, I feel sympathy for Soutouin, but I somehow don't feel like she's the one who did it.
Maybe it was not necessarily intentional, and she feels bad about it.
Yeah, I don't think she did it. Yeah, that's why I don't think she would push off Soutouin off the stairs. Because of her circumstances. Wouldn't that just, like, push her away from her?
I think it would probably more likely that it was unintentional than it was. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Maybe because
deep.
So we just gonna say she wasn't beautiful.
What if Dojima is just a precious boy Soutouin's type, and that's why he let her join? Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
She summoned it. Of course. Yes, Michiru's the only one with sense here.
Oh, I didn't even think about how she brought it in.
I still think Sakaguchi brought it in.
Yeah, Sakaguchi she asked her fiance to bring it in. They call her a demon because they believe that you push the club president.
Mm-hmm.
It's an arranged marriage, man. But, I mean, I get where you're coming from. Once again, Hyoda, your blood's gonna rush to your head, man. And aren't you the one calling him a lolicon? Oof.
He's in dark in all these shots.
All of a sudden, a cloud went over the sun.
Yeah, see, Soutouin himself said I slipped. He could have come behind him simply to talk to him about him, why she was rejected.
Yeah, at the end of the day, she's just a great schoolgirl.
Like, see.
Brain blast!
No.
I think that Yurika is a good girl.
I think she's just a tsundere. Who can't properly express her feelings.
They don't want him to annual and engage so they can keep on calling him a lolicon.
This is kind of highlighting what you were saying earlier too, with her in blue and the Hagoita in red.
Oh wait, I didn't hear that. Sorry, Cerby. You were way too muffled.
Well, it had her in blue, which you said was like purity and innocence, and the Hagoita was in red.
Yeah. Sasaku is speaking. Oh my god!
He's just legs in the silhouette. Desu
ne.
Oh no.
It's fine.
That word actually makes me think of Kumiko more. Mm-hmm. Oof. Huh? Huh? What?
She worked so hard. That's so precious.
She sawed a hole through the ground? What?
I should change to calling him Senpai-kun now as well. But I wanna keep on calling him Lolicon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Aw.
Was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. Oh wait, so
Aestheticism again.
Soutouin is in love with Kodaki and Kodaki is in love with Soutouin?
No.
No?
Tell that to Manabu. She likes Manabu. Yeah. Huh?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's not going to answer whether that's the case.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming it is.
You
I
can
am
assume whatever
assuming
you
it is.
want. That's what the show is saying.
Yeah. The beginning.
No, it's actually the end.
I didn't see that coming. Like, I saw most of that coming, but I didn't see that.
Soutouin was blushing
the
when he was
Hagoita?
talking about her.
Doesn't he have like a permanent blush?
No, he doesn't. He was actually
Plus, he
red in
was
the
standing
face.
in the sunset.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
know. I'll have to
His
see that
face
again.
was blushing. That means that the two of them like one another. I am assuming that.
I mean,
I
yeah, you
don't
can assume what
fucking
you
care.
want,
I am
Kiwi.
assuming it. But doesn't that make Soutouin kind of a lolicon?
No, they're both in elementary school.
Yeah.
But it's. Oh, I guess. Never mind.
I mean, Kiwi, if Jesus Christ, Kiwi, you're just going around calling everybody a lolicon at this point.
Yeah, I wanna call anime characters lolicons. Since I cannot do that in real life because people would get cancelled.
Probably shouldn't judge. so fast. Even like Spice and Wolf, I got really triggered when you were like saying that Lawrence and Hollow being a pair was disgusting because Hollow didn't have any. She was not a small girl. Actually, Hollow's like thousands of years old, and Lawrence is like 20 something.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I saw their designs, when I first saw them, I thought that she was a teenage girl and he was an old man. That's what I thought. I didn't think she was older than. See, he's blushing. He is blushing. He has a clear blush.
It's hard to tell if he's blushing or if that's just because the art style does have a tint.
It always has a slight blush.
Yeah, it has a tint, but he is redder than that. He is blushing.
I don't.
This is not clear enough.
When you look at the front, when it's like showing his face in the sun, there is tint there, but it's not as red. But right here, it's really red.
I don't know that it is so much. I think it's just that the shadow is highlighting that contrast a little bit more. But you always have that like tinge there.
I guess, but as someone who likes to use blushes, I also like to have like really blushy cheeks for my characters. But when I want them to blush, I put a lot more blush onto it. Like
I get that. Wait, I'm saying I don't think there is a whole lot more. I think if they were doing it intentionally, they would make it more.
Yeah.
I'm going with my idea that the two of them are kind of like one another.
I'm not denying that theory, but like
I would understand why Soutouin would then reject his crush who he thinks likes her fiancé. I would understand why Soutouin, who is in 5th grade, would reject his crush joining. That's why I'm going with it. There's like this big misunderstanding.
I think it's more like if we follow that like line of thought that they like each other, I think that does actually fit pretty well, because even like we've talked a lot about her and Sakaguchi's relationship, but it's never actually been about like their feelings. They've never really showed any feelings toward each other at all. It's always been about why the engagement and like the reason for it and what it means to each of them. Yeah, but it's never really had any sort of like actual feeling behind it.
Yeah, and then also the Senpai-san, Mr. Senpai. I cannot call him Lilicon anymore.
He's not, and he never was.
Well, I mean, every scene that Sakaguchi was with her, I mean, I believe he said that it was more like he acted like her guardian more than anything.
Yeah, but the reason that I think that Soutouin rejected
kept it is because of the like responsibility he feels for it, not that he has feelings for her.
The reason that I think that Soutouin likes her and rejected her because he thinks that she likes the senpai.
The
reason I think that's
sound? Are you a turkey? What the fuck?
I just got attacked by Donald Duck.
What the fuck was that? I mean, look. I don't know why you're being so incredibly passionate about this. Because, like, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to matter. Because this is just a particular story arc that probably isn't going to go anywhere.
I disagree with some of her points. I think I agree with her.
I'm going to finish. Let me finish. So, it was at the beginning. The lolly came to our senpai and was constantly being like, I want to hang out with you. I want to be with you. Like, hang out, because they had an arranged marriage. You know? He said so in the beginning. That's why the whole misunderstanding about him being a lolicon came to be, because he was hanging out with her a lot.
Yes.
And then if Soutouin liked a girl, I'm looking at it from the perspective of like if he also had a part of a 5th grader in him, and if he liked a crush and that crush suddenly started hanging out with someone you are close to, you would misunderstand that maybe your crush is liking someone else, and you wouldn't be near the crush who wants to hang out with one of your members. Like, she wanted to join the club because of the president.
Okay, I'm not going to deny any of that. That's all like makes sense and is plausible enough, but I don't think that's what the show's been presenting to us.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely, from my opinion, so just to state what I see, I guess, I think how she kind of got to being in the club is probably because of her trying to be with Sakaguchi. And I think that's probably kind of how she got to know Soutouin. And there's also that they're both in grade school, so they go to the same school. They could potentially see each other around there too. But I think the reason he rejected her is because he can see that she has feelings, whether it's towards him or to Sakaguchi. It doesn't really matter. Because to him, like what the rules of the club are, be a boy, be beautiful, and be a detective, right?
Yeah.
If she has a maiden's heart, she's in love, she has all those emotions, she breaks his first rule.
Yes.
So that's why he rejected her.
Yeah, our main girl here is literal scum of the earth.
Yeah.
She has the soul of a boy, so that's why she got accepted.
She's playing the same role as all the other boys in the club.
Yeah.
She's not playing the role of a maiden.
That's basically the do-all, end-all, and the rest is just whatever you want to think, because I don't think it's going to matter throughout the entire story, for the rest of the story. It's just a one-off story arc thing here that presents why Mayumi got accepted and helps clarify what they think of Mayumi as.
Yeah, they don't think of Mayumi as a girl, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, she got accepted into the Pretty Boy Detective Club, and there's a rule stating that you have to be a boy to join. Which is why they have this particular arc to say, yeah, we don't think you're a girl.
I can for some reason in the future see either boys taking off their shirts or Mayumi just okay, or just Mayumi changing in the same room as them because
How did you go here? How did we get here?
Well, honestly,
because they don't think of her as a girl and she doesn't think of them as boys.
I think she thinks of them as boys. I mean,
even then, like Kiwi's mind has been tainted. Even though she says that she's very innocent, she's very Seiso. She's actually not, from the websites that I've seen her browse through. No, even that shit horrifies me.
I've looked at her analyst. I know she's not innocent.
I believe this episode was pretty much what I was expecting from the show, really.
I actually really like this episode.
Yeah,
I thought out of all the concluding episodes, I think this one's my favorite.
And it actually, I think it makes kind of the most sense for me. Because everything else has either been explained with a very simple answer or a very over-the-top answer.
Yes,
and this one...
It's all because of my Hagoita research.
Yes.
I liked your research. I think it was really
good. That was great. A great great analysis into the potential meaning behind the Hagoita. But yeah, I like this episode because it leaves the interpretation to us.
It conveyed the points that mattered the most clearly, I thought. And it kind of left the rest for you to kind of just think on and interpret how you want.
And also, well, yeah, we've already said it a million times, but helped establish that Mayumi's actually a guy. She's one of the bros, man.
She's one of the bros, yeah.
She secretly has a penis.
Kiwi. So funny story. Kiwi had an anime in her watching on Analyst, and I recognized it, and so I was trying to click on it just to see what it was. And Analyst wouldn't let me click on it. I'm like, why won't it let me look at this? It's because it was a hentai. And it has maturity filters on my account, so it wouldn't let me look at it. So I had to turn those off just to see what Kiwi was watching.
What do you have to say for yourself, Kiwi?
Listen, that's a fuck my best friend, but I haven't watched more than 2 episodes of that, so.
Amazing. Well, that explains a lot of Kiwi's theories.
I watch a lot of the animes that get anime adaptations of my mangas that I read, and that was just one of them.
Yes. I can see why you would read that. Either way, now that the conversation has strayed so incredibly far from Pretty Boy Detective Club.
I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. That was a great story. Highly expected from both an interaction between innocent fish and degenerate dog. But yeah. Either way.
Degenerate dog. I meant degenerate wolf.
Close enough. Either way.
Donovan is the degenerate dog.
I don't think any of our subscribers actually know him. This is so sad.
He's been in a couple random episodes.
He was, but yeah. He needs
He was in
more
the
presence.
first episode of To Your Eternity.
Yes. Okay, can I end the episode now?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Later, dudes.
Bye bye.
Bye, degenerates.